exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life. Continued breastfeeding for minimum of 2 years and beyond, along with complementary feeds after the completion of 6 months is the appropriate feeding strategy. Exclusive breastfeeding means feeding the baby with breast milk only soon after birth and continuing it till 6 months of age. No other liquids or solids are given, not even water. The baby is given only breast milk and nothing else whenever the baby is hungry. Breast milk is said to be unique as it has various factors like the antimicrobial factors, the hormones, the growth factors, the anti-inflammatory factors, the digestive enzymes. The benefits of breastfeeding, particularly on baby, it is said to be the ideal nutrition for babies. It contains everything the baby needs in the right proportion. The casein to whey protein ratio is said to be 40 to 60 when compared to the cow's milk. Definitely the protein content in the cow's milk is way more, and what is needed for the human babies is just 40% of casein and whey protein, which is more. Breast milk is said to be promoting baby's healthy weight. Leptin, which is a key hormone for regulating the appetite and fat storage. It is also said that it is due to beneficial gut bacteria, which is involved in the weight gain. Breastfeed the children are said to be smarter. This is due to the physical intimacy, touch, eye contact, and which gives them a better nutrient content. It is said to be rich in antibodies, particularly the IgA antibodies. These IgA antibodies protects the baby to fight against various viruses and bacteria. It is said to form a protective layer in the baby's nose, throat, and digestive system. Breastfeeding is said to reduce the various risks like middle ear infection, respiratory infections, cold and other infection, the gut infections, intestinal tissue damage like necrotizing enterocolitis, sudden infant death syndrome, various allergic diseases, bowel diseases like the Crohn's and the ulcerative, the diabetes, as well as childhood leukemia. Even on mother, it is said to be very beneficial. The first golden hour of breastfeeding releases the oxytocin, which helps in uterine involution and also in decreasing the blood loss. And as a result, there is definitely the PPH chances are very less. It helps in bonding with the little one and gives a sense of security, achievement, and motherhood. As breastfeeding actually inhibits ovulation temporarily, it also serves as helps in birth spacing and decreases the lactational amenorrhea also serves to give birth spacing. It is said to decrease the risk factors of cancers like breast and ovarian cancer. Women who breastfeed have found to have lower risk of blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, arthritis. It is said to even lose weight, though initially we see that breastfeeding mothers put on weight, but when they try to lose their weight, we have seen that mothers who have breastfed lose weight earlier than women who have not breastfed. Lower risk for postpartum depression as they have a more sense of security and achievement. It is said to be convenient, time saving, and cost saving. It definitely reduces the cost which is spent on formula feeds. It also breast milk is said to be available at the right temperature and ready to drink food. Coming to a little bit of anatomy, the breast is said to be a tissue which overlies the chest or the pectoral muscles. The woman's breast is made of both glandular tissue, which is involved in the milk secretion, as well as the fatty tissue. The amount of fat actually determines the size of the breast. The milk-producing glandular tissue is divided into 15 to 20 lobes, which are further divided into lobules, smaller structures called lobules. The milk is produced from these alveoli, which ejects this milk through ducts, which come and point out to the surface area through the nipple. The area surrounding the nipple is called the areola. The breast definitely undergoes various changes throughout the pregnancy and lactation. These changes are said to be due to hormones. Hence, pregnant women do experience tenderness, increase in the breast size, increase in the color and size of the nipples, as well as the areola. The Montgomery tubercles also are found to be noticeable in this phase. Right from 16 weeks onwards, breast starts producing milk. Coming to a little of the physiology part, we have the mammogenesis, which involves the development of breast, lactogenesis, wherein we have synthesis and secretion of the milk, galactokinesis with the ejection of milk outside the breast, galactopoiesis for maintenance of lactation, and involution once after post-lactation. Once the mother starts breastfeeding, the breast undergoes changes like regression and atrophy. Once the baby starts sucking, there is a conditioned reflex which is set up. As a result, the tactile receptors in the nipple get stimulated. These receptors send impulses to the hypothalamus, and as a result, the hypothalamus sends impulses on to the anterior pituitary. From the anterior pituitary, we have the prolactin hormone which is released, which stimulates the milk secretion from the acini of the breast. When sucking continues, the hypothalamus stimulates the posterior pituitary to release the oxytocin hormone, and this oxytocin results in contraction of the myoepithelial cells in the alveoli, which forces the milk into larger ducts and causes the let down reflex. The more the milk that is removed from the breast, the more milk the body tries to replace. This supply and demand system is how mothers are able to produce enough milk for twins and even triplets. That is the reason why we tell in the golden hour, sucking, whether the mother gets milk or not, the sucking reflex has to be maintained and continued so that more amount of milk is produced and is maintained. Initiation, breastfeeding should be started within half an hour of birth as soon as possible after normal delivery. Nowadays, the recent trend is even before the cord clamping, if at all we could put the baby onto the mother's breast, it is the best thing to be done. In case of cesarean section, we might have to wait for less than 4 hours. Grooming in and bedding should be done with mother and baby to prevent separation and to promote the breastfeeding. The golden hour is the first hour after the birth when the mother has uninterrupted skin-to-skin contact with her newborn. This is a very integral factor in the mother's breastfeeding journey. The skin-to-skin contact promotes strong bond between the mother and the babies. And research has shown that babies which have breastfed and had this skin-to-skin contact have longer IQ and much more emotional stability. Well, in the beginning few days, the newborns take 5 to 10 minutes to breastfeed per breast, and this has to be repeated every 2 to 3 hours. So totally maybe roughly around 10 to 12 feedings per day. In the beginning, first few days, it is only the colostrum and the quantity of which is very less. Hence, frequent feeds should be maintained. But by the end of 1 month, the stomach gets larger and the baby can suck almost for 10 to 20 minutes per breast. So every 3rd to 4th hourly, we can feed the little one. By 6 months, baby may breastfeed for 20 to 40 minutes per breast, which comes to around 3 to 5 times per day. There are 3 stages of this breast milk production, which includes till the 4th day, we have the colostrum. The colostrum has everything which is needed in the right proportion. And this composition of this breast milk changes throughout the month, especially during the first 1 month. In the initial first 4 days, it is the colostrum. Then we have from the 4th to the 14th day, which is the transitional milk. And from 14th day and beyond, we have the mature milk. The first milk, even in the mature milk, is said to be the fore milk, which is like skim milk, thin with low fat content. But as the baby continues to suck, the hind milk is released, which is rich in fat and higher in protein content. And this helps the baby to gain weight and to feel the tummy full. So this milk is said to be the gross milk. Coming to the technique, baby's head and body should be held straight. Baby turned towards its mother with the nose turned to the opposite to the nipple. The entire body should touch over the mother's abdomen. The whole body of the baby should be well supported, and mother should support her breast with the other hand. The right feeding posture, wherein the baby should be brought close to the nipple and not the nipple to the baby. The mother should not bend down. She should keep her shoulders relaxed. Sit all the way back in the chair by placing a pillow behind. Keep her legs elevated on a stool. Try to keep a pillow or a rolled up towel so that she can raise the baby's head up and avoid looking throughout down at the baby, and create a station where she has the other necessary things which might be needed, maybe water, snacks, or pillows, so that she doesn't have to get up many times. Coming to the breastfeeding position, there are various positions that she can try for for the feeding. Cradle, the most traditional method; cross cradle, the football method; the side lying, and the laid back position. In the cradle position, the breast to which the baby is put, the same hand is used to hold the baby. Whereas in cross cradle, if she's breastfeeding on the left side, she should hold the baby from the right arm. In football position, this is also called the rugby hold. This position is particularly useful after cesarean section, wherein the weight of the baby is taken off from the lap and away from the incision line. In this position, we hold the baby on the side of the body with the arms supporting their back and fingers gently supporting the neck. In the side lying position, both the mother and baby are lying side by side, but the only drawback of this is sometimes tired mothers tend to sleep off and they can lead to choking of the little one. So of late, the side lying position is tried to be avoided. The laid back position, in this position, the mother leans back, propped up onto the pillows. Here we place the baby directly on the chest, and the gravity helps to keep the baby in position. We have to note the signs of correct latching, wherein the baby's mouth is wide open, the chin touches the breast, the baby's lower lip is curled outward. Usually the lower portion of the areola is not visible. Rather, the entire areola is within the baby's mouth. The good attachment and good latching is really needed, which can prevent many of the breastfeeding problems. The principles of breastfeeding include: do it in a clean and safe manner as much as possible. Both mother and baby should be comfortable and relaxed at the feeding time. The breastfeeding should be initiated within the first half hour of birth. Early skin-to-skin contact, the kangaroo care, is always better. Colostrum is said to be the most suitable food during the first few days, and it contains high concentration of nutrients and anti-infective substances. The interval between the feeds varies between 1 to 4 hours, which might vary from 5 minutes in the beginning, which can increase up to 15 to 20 minutes in the subsequent days. Burping should be done after every feed in order to kick out the swallowed hair. The baby should be allowed to suckle from both the breasts during the feeding. It is desirable to feed the baby on demand, which helps in a gain weight. The mother should also be instructed to feed the child even when the child is ill or not doing well. There are few contraindications. In mothers, maybe active tuberculosis, leprosy, or some mother who are addicted to alcohol or heavy doses of few drugs, in psychosis, or some local condition where it becomes very painful for the mother to feed, like in abscess or cracked nipples. For the infant, some grossly premature baby, if at times, inborn nerves like phenylketonuria, galactosemia, or lactose intolerance. The expectation is different. We all want to breastfeed, but in reality, we face so many things. Being a new parent is definitely exciting, but it's never the same sunshine and rainbow. There are various challenges with breast, with the size of the nipple shape, and difficulties with getting the latch right. There is definitely a learning curve, and this process definitely takes time, energy, and patience. The hardest thing about being a mom is not knowing if we are doing it right. These are the various common breastfeeding problems that are encountered: sore nipples, breast engorgement, plugged milk ducts, low breast supply, or overabundant supply. The correction of these things can start right from the antenatal period, wherein if we could just spend little time in breast examination to rule out flat nipples or inverted nipples. A short nipple, usually it is the flat nipple and not the inverted nipple. If we are able to pull it out And if the protactile test is good, fine. If not, we have to teach the mothers to try to pull out the nipples at least during the last 1 month of antenatal period. Inverted nipples, the nipple might have to be manually stretched and rolled out several times a day. A pump or a plastic syringe can be used to draw out the nipple, and then the baby is put over the nipple. Sore nipples, yes, correct positioning and latching of the baby to the breast. Hind milk is used to apply over the nipple after the feed. The nipple can be aired and allowed to heal in between the feeds. If the baby has oral thrush, treat it and apply the same medicine even over the mother's nipple. If sucking is impossible for a day or two, she can definitely express the milk and feed the baby using a cup. Majority of the breastfeeding problems can be avoided by getting the latch right, feeding regularly, using warm or cold compresses. The warm compress can use to unblock a clogged milk duct. Cold compresses can be used to relieve engorgement. Sometimes chilled cabbage leaves can be used to reduce engorgement as well. Wearing comfortable clothing with good support of the breast is always needed and a priority. A few words about expressed breast milk, particularly this is for the working mothers or mothers who are sick, or in case of preterm baby or engorged breast where she's cornered to express her milk. She should express her milk in a clean, wide mouth container, and this should be fed to her baby. There are several ways of expressing, either by hand with a manual pump or the electrical pump. It can be hand method or the pump method, wherein she can squeeze and try to express the milk out. Storage of this milk. We can store breast milk at room temperature for 6 to 8 hours. So she can actually breastfeed the baby before she leaves for her work, express and keep the milk, which can be utilized for the next 6 to 8 hours. The milk can be kept even in the fridge, and that same milk can be used for around 72 hours. In the freezer compartment, if it's minus 15 degrees Celsius, the milk can be used for up to 2 weeks. And if it's minus 18 degrees Celsius, then it can be kept for almost 3 months. The tips for storing breast milk at room temperature. Place a cold towel over the storage container. Put a cap onto the breast milk bottle or seal the storage bag. Do not keep the breast milk close to heating appliances. If the room temperature is more, it is always better to keep the breast milk into the refrigerator. There is no greater blessing than the new baby. God is trusting us with a precious gift, and He will guide us on this fantastic journey. Support moms to breastfeed anytime and everywhere, so that we can definitely have a breastfeeding friendly society. Breastfeeding reminds us of the universal truth of abundance. The more we give, the more we are filled up, and that divine nourishment is needed for ever flowing. Thank you.